From MontanaSports.com, this is MTN Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Saturday Night Sports Extra on the Montana Television Network. My name is Tom Wiley. Thanks for joining us. We'll begin tonight in the Big Sky Conference just days after the FCS Championship Committee released their initial in-season top 10 rankings. Montana State holding strong at number 2 after an 8-0 start, while Montana checks in at number 10 entering the final 4 weeks of the regular season. Both teams on the road today. Let's jump into those highlights.
Hey everyone, Kyle Hansen here on the field at Mustang Memorial Field on the campus of Cal Poly here in San Luis Obispo, California. And on Saturday, it was the number 8 Montana Grizzlies in town to take on the Mustangs. Montana was looking for its 7th win on the season and 3rd in a row, while Cal Poly was looking to get the big upset over the 8th-ranked Grizzlies to get their 3rd victory on the year. Grizzlies' first drive of the game, and it's Logan Fife at quarterback. But he's picked off by Mason Rivera from Cal Poly, which halts Montana early. Second Grizzly drive now, and it's Kaylee Ayat under center. And check out the one-handed snag by Sawyer Racanelli to get Montana a first down as they're driving. And quickly, they turn that into points as Ayat drops back and finds Xavier Harris wide open in the end zone from 24 yards out, and that makes it 7-0 Grizzlies. Second quarter, 4th down for Cal Poly deep in Montana territory. Jaden Jones airs it out, but it's just off as Montana gets the big stop. They stop the Mustangs 3 times on 4th down and this one. And later, the Grizzlies turn it into points. Fife again in at quarterback. He throws it up, and what a catch by Keelan White. He takes the huge hit and reels it in with just one hand, hangs on, and that's a touchdown for the Grizzlies as Montana takes a 14-0 lead into halftime. It was a slow third quarter in this one until it wasn't. Cal Poly punting here, and just when you need him, he arrives. The electric Junior Bergen fields the punt, and see ya. Bergen goes 84 yards to the house for his 6th career punt return touchdown. That's a new Big Sky Conference record, and the snowball effect is on as the Grizzlies begin to roll. Later, it's Garrett Husted getting the pick, and he takes it deep into Mustang territory, and in just a few plays, the Grizzlies cap it off with a touchdown by Eli Gilman. The Grizzlies tack on a couple more down the stretch, and Montana improves to 7-2 on the season as they defeat Cal Poly 42-7. Reporting in San Luis Obispo, California, Kyle Hansen, MTN Sports.
Welcome in to Roos Field, MTN Sports. Grace Lawrence here for a very rainy and cold college football Saturday. The number 2 ranked Bobcats, who are sitting at 8-0 coming off a bye week, take on 2-6 Eastern Washington today. After both teams trade punts, Montana State gets going. Scottrey Humphrey up the middle for the short touchdown to put the Bobcats up 7-0. Ensuing kickoff, Eastern's Michael Wortham brings it out of the end zone and fumbles. Montana State's Max Murphy forces it. Carson Williams recovers it. Next play, Tommy Malott back to pass. Taco Dowler's wide open, and the Bobcats are up 14-0. Eastern has an answer, though. Jared Taylor with a beautiful pass to Efton Chisholm III, who makes the nice catch for an Eagles touchdown, 14-7 at that point. Second quarter now, Montana State driving. Adam Jones takes the handoff, jukes out one defender, and bowls over another for the touchdown. Cats are up 21-7. Eastern with some big plays, though. Wortham takes the handoff and gets the corner. He has nothing but red turf in front of him. He outruns the entire Montana State defense. That's a 75-yard touchdown to bring the Eagles back within 21-14. But just before the half, the Bobcats push the lead back to 28-14. Humphrey with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Third quarter now in Eastern Washington, deep in Montana State territory. Jared Taylor flips it out to Tuna Altahir for the touchdown. And later in the third, Altahir takes the handoff, finds the big hole, and he's in for another touchdown. Game tied at 28. But Tommy Malott with a big-time answer. The senior quarterback keeps it himself, goes around the right edge, shows off the speed to get past the defense, and the Eagles aren't going to catch him. Malott goes 76 yards for the touchdown to give the lead back to the Bobcats, 35-28 going to the fourth. MSU trying to put it away. Malott back to pass on 3rd down. He airs it out for Ty McCullough along the sideline. He gets away from the defense. He goes 61 yards for the Bobcats touchdown. Bobcats win in advance to 9-0 on the season. In Cheney, Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports.
It's Carroll College's final home game of the season and their 2nd straight game against a ranked opponent as the Fighting Saints host number 8 Southern Oregon. Here's Gunnar Yates taking the handoff, reversing traffic and getting Southern Oregon down to the 2-yard line. Couple plays later and it's Yates again on the direct snap. Toddy, 7-0 Raiders. Next Southern Oregon possession, and check out QB Blake Asciuto under pressure and firing this off-balance dot for a first down. Raiders still driving. It's just a little slip pass to the running back, and he is gone. It's yet another touchdown for Gunnar Yates. Southern Oregon leads 17-0 midway through the second quarter. Carroll grasping for any sort of momentum, and there's Jack Parka right when you need him, finding the outlet under pressure. Saints in scoring position now. Misdirection on the play fake, and Parka finds his tight end in the back of the end zone. Carroll with life now, but still trailing by double digits. Parka with all the time in the world and lays out a dime for Chris Akolshin to go track down. Goal-to-go situation for Carroll here, and they give it to Brett Tomasini, who punches it in. 17-14 now, and the Fighting Saints have fought back within 3. Few minutes later, and we're on the opposite goal line. But tell me if this play looks familiar. Brett Tomasini taking the handoff again, and Carroll now leads 21-17. Southern Oregon has one last chance to put together a touchdown drive, and the runner is tackled short on 4th down. So it's Carroll rattling off 21 unanswered to remain unbeaten in Frontier Conference play. And for all of our Frontier Conference football coverage, make sure you're keeping up with us over at montanasports.com. Reporting in Nelson Stadium, Johnny Walker, MTN Sports.
State soccer hardware up for grabs today. We got highlights from the Class AA and Single A title games. That's next on Sports Extra. Don't go away.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by montanasports.com.
Well, it's Championship Saturday in the soccer fields, and in Class AA, we have a pair of crosstown clashes for both boys and girls state hardware. MTN's Luke Shelton leads us off in Bozeman, where Gallatin County's finest squared off on the pitch.
MTN's Luke Shelton out here at Bozeman High, and if you're a soccer fan in this town, I can't think of anywhere else you'd rather be today. Today it's the Class AA Girls State Championship, featuring a crosstown showdown between the Bozeman Hawks and Gallatin Raptors in a meeting between the past 2 state champions, with the Hawks looking to make it back-to-back titles. Let's get right to those championship highlights. Well, it won't take long for the Hawks to find the back of the net. Off the corner kick from Maya Bossenbrook, it's Meg Murphy with some nice footwork to create some space, and she'll fire the shot home. That kick gives the Hawks a 1-0 lead in the 8th minute. And after that, a stalemate through the rest of the first half. But now on to the second half, and Bozeman looking for an insurance goal, and Hadley Brown delivers it. That pushes the Hawks' lead to 2-0, and Bozeman starting to feel it. Now on to stoppage time, and there's Brown running out the clock as the Hawks claim their second straight Class AA championship, and for the second straight season, Bozeman goes undefeated. And with this team set to graduate 11 seniors, what a special way for this outgoing class to conclude their time with the Hawks soccer program.
It's amazing. I mean, our goal was this all season, so to finish it off this great was just awesome. We put in the work and we got the reward, so I'm just very excited about it.
In Bozeman, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
State Championship Saturday, folks. Alec Boffinger here in Billings, so we prepare to hand out some fall sports hardware. Senior in West for the AA title, scoreless through 100 minutes and straight to PKs we go. Jasper Jackman up first for West, but Jack Switzer of Senior turns him away as the Golden Bears need to play catch up. Bronx have the advantage if they can net one, and Lucas Thompson buries it. A little keeper-on-keeper action here as Brennan Ellis beats Switzer and lets him know about it. But it all comes down to the right leg of Henry Kelling. And Kelling finds the back of the net to give Senior its first state soccer title in 20 years.
I had no idea. First time ever doing this, my team came up to me. They just said all it takes is one save. They knew I had trust in my team that they'd sink it in, so all it took was just one save for me and then locked in for state.
Earlier today, a pair of state title games over at Amend Park. Central and Whitefish guys started off, and the Bulldogs start with a bang. Kyler Johnson buries this penalty kick in the 16th minute. And then just 5 minutes later, Johnson gets another PK. Make it 2-0 Whitefish just 20 minutes in. Central answers 31 seconds later. Cole Bland finds the back of the net from outside the box. Second half, Central gonna knot this thing up. Bland on the penalty kick this time makes it 2-2. 80 minutes, not enough, and we get extra time. Bowman Sight serves it up for Central, and sophomore Sawyer Gunther there to head it in as the Rams exact revenge for last season, win a thriller 3-2.
That's the first time we've been down all season, and it was kind of a shocker, but we had a little pep talk, and we had plenty of time left. 2 goals. I mean, it's hard, but at the same time, it's easy. We had 60 minutes left to get those goals, so just really play our game, stick to it, and I know we can score.
The Central and Laurel ladies finished off the afternoon at Amen Park, and Locos with a good chance early, but Central keeper Lorelei Hudson-Byler there to turn it away. Moments later, Central jumps in front. Emerson Dole gets just enough on this thing for it to cross the plane. The Rams take a 1-0 lead. Final moments of the first half, Laurel ties it up. Darby Beeler with an incredible left-footed shot that hits the crossbar and goes in. But the game was flipped on its head with a penalty kick here by Emerson Dole midway through the second half. That proved to be the game winner in Central's 2-1 win over Laurel.
It was really just like a mind game. That's the big thing for us. It's a mind game. They're our biggest rivals. They're a really good team, don't get me wrong, and it's a big mind game. And they just told us, like, no matter what, like, we're here for each other, we play for each other, and in the end, it's for each other. And that's something that really stuck with me.
Scores, highlights, and more online at montanasports.com. In Billings, Alec Boffinger, MTN Sports.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by montanasports.com.
Well, the regular season is over, seeding is locked, and it's time for Montana high school football teams to make a run at a state championship. Let's start our postseason coverage in Class B, where MTN's Derek Joseph was on the sidelines as the 3-time defending champs opened their title defense.
Hey everyone, Derek Joseph here in Florence for a first-round matchup between Florence and Fairfield. Florence is going for their 4th straight state title, but let's see if Fairfield can play spoiler. To start off, it was a blocked punt by Bridger Alexander that set up running back Jake Schneider for a touchdown and the early lead. But Fairfield struck back on their next drive with this deep passing touchdown to Ryder Carper. Then for Fairfield, it's Porter Hatch who gets a good jump on the ball and runs it back to the house for a pick 6. However, from there, it was all Florence as Drew Wagner scored this touchdown on the running pass and this toe-tap touchdown in the back of the end zone. Bridger Alexander was also efficient in the end zone with multiple touchdowns of his own, including this one right on the side of the end zone. Florence kept scoring touchdowns and cruised to the next round to play against Jefferson in a 56-20 victory. For the rest of Class B, Red Lodge moved on to face Loyola along with Manhattan and Eureka, and finally Three Forks will face Malta. Reporting in Florence, I'm Derek Joseph, MTN Sports.
It is the first Saturday of the high school football playoffs, and that means that 8-man and 6-man games are full go. Today here in the Great Falls area, the Belt Huskies host the St. Regis Tigers, and the Centerville Miners welcome in the Shields Valley Rebels.
Starting in the Belt Valley as last year's 8-man runner-up is starting its run at Redemption. After a stop on defense, Declan Bergstrom finds Slater Lords over the middle on a 4th down to keep the first drive moving. And it pays off as a quick snap and handoff to Luke Highfill gets the Huskies on the board. Next time on offense for the Tigers, the ball is loose and it'll be recovered by the Huskies. Beltland is able to capitalize shortly after as Lords will punch it in for another score, 14-0 Huskies. Later in the first, it's the home team moving in. Look at the rumbling by Blake Waldner. This leads to Bergstrom finding Tucker LaPlante, and the junior gets to the sidelines and gets in for 6. This quickly turned into a blowout, as here's Bergstrom finding a lane, and he'll rush for a big gain. Then to cap off that drive, it's Waldner barking his way into the end zone as the Huskies keep on rolling. 8-man's number 2 team rolls 57-6. Belt's win allows it to move on to host Culbertson next weekend. Also a couple noteworthy outcomes. Chinook upsets Valley Christian and Scobie upsets Manhattan Christian. Now over to 6-man's top-ranked team and defending champ Centerville hosting Shields Valley. Spoiler alert, the Miners would strike gold. Second play from scrimmage, you've probably heard this name before. It's Luke Kelly who gets in space and see you at home, 6-0 Miners. Next drive, now Kelly showing off his arm. He finds Caden Olson who high points that football. And how about a fourth down stop near midfield for Centerville? Cale Ann is saying no sir. Shortly after, it looks like Kelly will take it himself, but hold on, he sees a rare mineral down the field as Olson takes defenders with him into the end zone. Defense gets it done too. A big loss is Jet Lorang with a takedown. Miners back on offense, and once again it's Kelly to Olson. Who would have thought? Then how about digging up some pick sixes? That's what the home team did as Kelly shows off some moves, including putting a Rebel in the spin cycle, and he's gone. Olson follows in suit on the next Rebel possession, and the defending state champs dig up a 51-12 win. Centerville moves on to host Chester Joplin Inverness next weekend. Key thing to note, that was the Miners' only loss this season back in week 1. Another key matchup will see 2 top 5 team clash in Boxelder and Denton Geyser Stanford Geraldine. Now let's take a look at how Class A shook out in the first week of the playoffs. And lastly, here's how AA looks going into the quarterfinals. Will Charlton, MTN Sports.
Still to come, meet a man who proves that age is just a number. More Sports Extra. Stay with us.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Lots of people set a goal of visiting all 50 states, but not many people choose to run 26.3 miles in each of those states. That's exactly what a senior citizen from Billings has done. And as MTN's Scott Breen tells us, there's no slowing him down.
Well, no matter the sport, collecting a medal typically feels pretty good. But imagine collecting 94 like Patrick Joyce after competing and finishing 94 marathons.
We're going to start the race in just about 10 minutes.
At age 74, the Billings runner feels like he's seen it all.
From the Redwoods to the Green Mountains, I have just enjoyed this land so much.
Joyce is referring to these beautiful green mountains in Vermont, where a week ago Sunday, he achieved one of his most fulfilling finishes, clocking a marathon time in all 50 states.
Today's the day, Pat. This is the day, Jimmy.
4, 3, 2, 1, go! Have fun, everybody!
And off he went along the trail, trotting toward animals and approaching volunteers.
Running further than I am today.
For those not familiar, a marathon distance is 26.2 miles. And to think that Joyce has done it 94 times, it would have been easy to run out of gas without his gallery.
And especially my family. They're my coaches, they're my team, they're my cheerleaders. Yes, really.
Within this gauntlet achievement, Joyce has run 2 New York City marathons and 4 in Boston, his favorite. And with every medal comes a story.
My brother and sister-in-law attended that with me over in Maui. Green River Marathon in Wyoming. We ran with the horses.
But finishing this one in his 50th state was additionally inspiring.
For me, it feels really that I'm complete.
And not just as a runner. Joyce says he'll give these medals to his kids and grandkids as motivation.
Get off that couch and be outdoors. That's all. This is a real trail, I'll tell you.
If you're wondering what race is left for Joyce, hopefully, he says, the big one that started it all.
I want to be able to run the original in Athens. Marathon to Athens is, of course, where Phidippides ran and announced that the Persians were coming to the Greeks and then fell dead, and that's how we got the 26.2.
The great distance race. Patrick Joyce proving it's not a sprint, it's indeed a marathon. Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
Well, that's our time for this edition of Sports Extra. Thanks for joining us. And remember, the conversation continues at MontanaSports.com. That's where you can find updated brackets from state football, district volleyball, and recaps of state soccer. Until then, have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week on Sports Extra.